Trump said in his proposal last night, I'm going to extend they're now presently in this country illegally. The question is, do we deport them now, or what do we do with them? President Trump said, I'm going to extend the issue for 3 years. They will have legal status for 3 years. There is no open door to citizenship. They cannot become a citizen, but they can be here legally, they can work here, they can get medical care. I don't know about social services, I don't know about that. Probably social services too, for 3 years. And in 3 years, the Congress has to work it out. So it's an excellent compromise if you understand the situation. It's not his problem, it's the problem of the Congress. So I'm going to give you a moratorium for 3 years. That's a wonderful compromise. So the gentleman that was representing the DACA people, he acknowledged it and thanked President Trump very much. But he didn't want to back down on Nancy completely, or he didn't want to back down completely, so he said Nancy should come to the table. She should make a counteroffer. Well, anyone in their right mind, the problem is we have a lot of people that are not in their right mind in this country. But whether you think he's right or wrong in holding the government closed as a leverage, whether you think that or not, he really compromised. The proposal that he made was a genuine compromise. The stalemate is on whether or not to open or close the government. Why don't you just, Nancy really, reason says, she really has to back down from saying we will not negotiate until you open the government and respond to his proposal. That's what reason says. I think I'm a reasonable person. That's what reason says. She's behaving like a dictator. She's behaving more or less like she's the president. For example, when Ronald Reagan was president, there was an issue with their air traffic controllers. He told them to do something they didn't want to do, and he fired them all. My way or the highway. It's for the safety of the country, you're fired. That's what the boss does. That's what the ruling executive does. The Speaker of the House does not do that to the President. So he's making her look very bad because what she's doing is very bad. So the man representing the DACA said she should give a counter-offer. So he's saying, but of course, her counter-offer should be for full amnesty now. In other words, President Trump should get his wall, and she should get full amnesty now. Now, he knew that wasn't going to happen, but that was what he had to say. What person that's one of these people that's here illegally, they're in danger of being deported. They have no rights, no benefits, okay? And all of these, about 800,000 people not getting their paychecks, food stamps running out, all of that. And you get an offer like this, and you won't make a counter offer. It's beyond, her position is untenable. So he's really showing her for what she is. And not only her, but Dick Durbin, they're traitors. These people elected to public office, they're traitors, they're treasonous elected officials in our government. And President Trump is really limited as to what he can do because too many of the people are on the other side. He would have to turn the country into a dictatorship to throw them down at this point. So he's trying to educate the people. People are intelligent, brethren. We have an innate intelligence for what is right and what is wrong. And people in which this innate intelligence is not working are spiritually damaged people. They're spiritually sick people. So That's what he was saying. He really thanked the president. He said, yes, Nancy should give a counter proposal. She should give a counter proposal. She will not give a counter proposal. And here are all these DACA people saying, grab it, grab it, grab it. And she will not give a counter proposal. So you see, brethren, this is the way it is. When you negotiate, there's two ways to negotiate. When you negotiate out of a righteous spirit, when your heart is really to come to a compromise, you're really undefeatable. This is how Gandhi forced the British out of India. Honestly. When your heart is right and your cause is right, and you're promoting that cause out of a right motive, you are undefeatable, even if you're not a Christian, because Christ is in that. He is in every human being. This is His earth. In Him we live and move and have our being. Whether you're educated, whether you're not educated, wherever you are, He's in everybody and everything except people that are sick. And if people are sick, then they're overtaken by people that are healthy, eventually. And President Trump, Donald J. Trump, the reason he is where he is, the reason he has the money that he has, is because he is a very decent man. And he negotiates, he plays hardball, he negotiates, but he negotiates out of a righteous spirit. What is that? He negotiates a deal that both people should benefit. But if you're unreasonable, then he's going to play hardball with you. But his negotiations are not to destroy the other party, but that both people should be satisfied in fairness. That is undefeatable. A person that operates like that is undefeatable. So, this is a good lesson for us here that are trying to live it in the mind of Christ. So, Nancy's position is, I will not negotiate until you open the government. President Trump ignored her and made his proposal to the American people. That, in my humble opinion, makes her position moot. It destroys her position. The offer's on the table. The whole country and the whole world is waiting for Nancy's counter offer because they want what Trump is offering. And she's clinging to a position that is destructive on every level. It's destructive to the people who are offered help. It's destructive to the 800,000 employees. It's destructive to her career. It's destructive to the Republic because her motive is ungodly. There are times when someone would say no negotiation, my way or the highway, and let the cards fall where, or the chips fall where they may. This is not one of those situations. She's completely out of order. The polls that were taken have been on her side because the mainstream media is not telling the people the truth. So President Trump went directly to the people. No one in their right mind could say anything to him other than, or to the situation, Nancy, make a counter offer. You're continuing to cleave to your position that you will not make a counter offer until President opens the government, and you will never give him a dollar, not so much as $1 for a wall that you just voted for a couple of years ago, is unreasonable. And the judgment is destruction upon her political destruction upon her and all of her followers, because they're ungodly, unholy, unreasonable, and traitors to this nation. So we'll see how this plays out. It doesn't happen overnight. But remember, President Trump's primary goal is to get the truth out to the citizens of this nation and have them rise up to destroy all of these traitors. There are thousands of them, thousands of traitors throughout the whole government on every level, national, state, city, local, they're everywhere. The government is corrupted and the people corrupted on every level. So at some point, God has everything under control. He's not late. See, President Trump has the mind of God. He's concerned about the citizens. If we are to survive as a republic, the citizens must be rescued. So what's happening is that God is moving through President Trump to give everybody a chance to judge righteous judgment before the axe falls, whatever that axe is going, however that axe is going to fall. And the Lord just taught me this, because I was really wanting to see these traitors tried. I wanted public executions for people found guilty of treason. That's not the answer. It's the people. The people must be rescued. God's people must be rescued. And who are God's people? The whole country. Every citizen is God's people. And that's what we learn in Ezekiel 39. It was really amazing for me it's an amazing chapter to read, that God sent Israel into captivity to save the Gentile nations. The job of Israel is to manifest and reveal the reality of God to people that don't know or understand or are ignorant. Israel's sins hinders the plans of God. So you see, we're not punished because we're bad. We're punished because we're hindering the plans of God to save the world. So I repent of having a lust for public trials and vengeance on the traitors in this country. Do you want God's mind? Do you want God's priorities? God's priorities is always the rescue of the people.